Welcome back to Magic Mania, the Orlando Magic podcast brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm Jonathan. We got Josh over here, and we just got the news yesterday. Paulo Banchero out with the oblique injury after going crazy. Had a 50-point game this season, averaging 29 points, almost 9 rebounds, 5 assists on almost 50% shooting. Absolutely amazing start to the season. Highly unfortunate for the Magic that they lost Paulo. Let's just get into our initial reactions. Josh, thoughts on just Paulo and the loss for the Magic with him?
Yeah, man. When I got the news yesterday, it was tough. I think we're 5 games into the season, so for him to have an early season injury, and I believe he's projected to be out about 4 to 6 weeks with that right oblique injury. It's tough, man. I think during the game um, against the Bulls, I think around the second half, let's say third quarter, started noticing, some aggravation there. So, unfortunately, it seems, he'll be out for November. So, it does present an opportunity for the rest of the team to, I guess, adapt to that next man up mentality. And, I'm interested to see what adjustments Coach Mosley makes, to fill in that gap. That it's really unfortunate to lose your superstar player this early in the season. What was your reaction to it?
Yeah, almost the same thing. It was just a day after you had posted the video of Luca talking about what makes a superstar, or what makes a star
Hmm.
a superstar.
Right.
And we were looking at the numbers he would have to surpass to do that. We were saying, maybe 26, 27, 7-ish rebounds, 4 assists. And like I was saying, he was hovering at 29 points, 9 rebounds, almost 6 assists on
Hmm.
50% shooting. He was doing it at a great clip. The shots were coming easy. You could see the maturity to his game just starting to develop, and him not, his grown man game starting to come in. He was taking
Yeah.
dudes at the rim. He was using his body a lot more, and he wasn't the kid that the Magic drafted just a couple years ago. He seemed to grow up really quick here in this third season. But yeah, super highly unfortunate. The Magic will have a lot to make up for. Right? Let's
Hmm.
not sell it short. Paulo Banchero is their A1 star for this Orlando Magic team. And without Paulo, it's going to be an uphill battle for this Magic team to be able to generate the offense, to generate the looks, to get things as easy with the pressure and the attention that he diverts from everyone else. So it is going to be something that's going to be tough to see. I think the main person that it's going to have to come down to when it comes to player wise, obviously, is Franz. But
Hmm.
overall, it's going to come down to, like you mentioned, Coach Mosley, right? How
Right.
is this team going to be coached to come back from something like that? Who is going to fill those roles, or who is going to step up in individual areas to fill different things that Paulo left on the board? Who's going to get those 9 rebounds? Who's going to score those extra 30 points? Because it won't just be one guy. It's going to be
Right.
a multiple guys, and it's a group effort that adds up to it. But I think it starts with Franz. I want to get your thoughts on who do you think steps up for this team the most, and how do you think this hole gets filled with Paulo gone?
I'm hoping to see Franz out there tonight. They're playing against the Cavaliers, a rematch of last season's playoff series, and it's going to be a nationally televised game. So there's a lot of attention on this one. Unfortunately, again, not having the A1 superstar. Hopefully, I believe Franz is a game time decision for tonight. So hopefully we get to see him on the court, and then it does present an opportunity for the younger guys to get some minutes. Tristan da Silva, Jet Howard. Hopefully we see KCP step up and find a steady tempo. Obviously, there's an adjustment period. You never plan for your star player to get injured this early, and adjustments have to be made. But I think to our benefit, we have the veteran presence of KCP. He's been in on different teams that they've had injuries and had to overcome that. So there's that capability, and then also again guys like Tristan da Silva, who I think any young rookie wants the opportunity to show themselves and be a presence. So I think maybe not tonight, but maybe down the line we see him get some more minutes and fill in those gaps.
And in a way, this could be a blessing in disguise for the
Mhm.
Orlando Magic, given that this isn't a lingering issue for Paulo. I think that's the number one thing. Make sure Paulo comes back 100%. With something like a core or abdomen issue, it's involved in almost every movement in your body, similarly to your back. So you don't want to rush things. He goes up for an athletic rebound. He goes up to attack the rim. The body gets tweaked or contorted, and he's out again for a couple of other weeks or a couple months. So I think for this Orlando Magic team, I think the priority get Paolo to 100%. Don't rush him back. This Eastern Conference is wide open, and it's a year of runs, right? That's how the
Right.
regular season works. That you go in runs, you'll win some games, you'll lose some games in a row, and maybe the blessing in disguise with Paolo getting hurt is going to be seeing who steps up and fill that role, right? Franz got that massive contract that he's going to have to live up to now. Like
Right.
this is going to be the time where we see if that contract that Franz Wagner got is worth what he's actually getting paid. And if that's something that we can see as far as star potential, maybe not superstar potential like we know with Paulo, but just star potential. Give us 20 something points a game. Give us close to double digit rebounds. Be the creator. We know that you can be as a big man. And let's see so you fill some of those roles. But the other things you can see from this team, like you said, I think Tristan da Silva hasn't scored his first NBA bucket just yet. He could be the benefactor when it comes to who the minutes end up going to because he fills in that position. He
Mhm.
has the ability to kind of plug and play, being a experienced college player who can stretch the floor, right? That's something you want. A 3-and-D guy. He understands, things. Maybe he'll have some defensive lapses. Probably, I should say, given
Yeah.
that he's young in his rookie career. But I think he'll probably be a big factor. I wouldn't be surprised if Jet Howard picked up a couple extra minutes too to cover that wing side of things as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how this team comes back from it as well. Now, defensively, do you think that with Paulo out, that this team, in a way has a different type of flexibility moving forward with the defensive side of things, just with the type of players you can plug in now, right? Because
Mhm.
Paulo, obviously, phenomenal defensive player, not like a defensive player of the year type, but it's still a solid defensive player. But do you think that Coach Wagner, or not,
Yeah.
Coach
Mosley,
Mo,
Coach Mosley. Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
Mo Wagner, Coach Mo,
Yeah.
if Coach Mo would do you think he's going to find some different defensive tactics to potentially utilize that could potentially be used when it comes to a playoff situation later this year?
Oh, he definitely will. He'll have to explore those options. I think we'll see more production out of guys like Wendell, Suggs, and to his point, he's got a big contract as well. So guys have to produce to those numbers. I think so. Yeah, he'll definitely have to experiment on that end, and um, it'll be interesting to see tonight's game what adjustments he chooses to make. Um, I personally won't be critiquing it too hard because this is all stuff that again, you don't ever want to be in a situation where your superstar player is out of the game and you have to make these decisions. But this is the situation at hand, and I think it's somewhat a silver lining that it's happening early in the season. We're only 5 games in. Um, and it gives them a good enough time to get Paulo and not rush it, right? Because that can, you rush a guy back from an injury, and what happens if he gets injured again, and now you're struggling to deal with that. So I think that's a silver lining in the situation, and they can explore different defensive sets, just in case a situation were to happen again, or maybe something that can contribute to a deep playoff run. If you have a different defensive set that you've experienced in the regular season, maybe that can come in handy in the postseason.
Something that the best coach in the league, Coach Spolstra, has done really effectively throughout his time in Miami was coach through the injuries and be able to bring those guys um, that weren't as known to prominent positions, right? Starting off with guys like Hassan Whiteside, right? Getting guys like Dion Waiters and James Johnson back into the spin of things, right? Duncan Robinson and all these guys that you maybe not have known of before, turning them into key rotation players so they do make those deep playoff runs. So I
Right.
think with Coach Mo, if he can do something of that nature and show that he's able to develop and put players that are still young, but still put them in the position they can succeed in that position and give them the confidence to do so. I think that's really, like you said, a blessing in disguise. Where since it is early in the season, you can experiment with some of those things and
Mhm.
find out where those young guys can really fit when it comes to when it really matters down the year. Final
Right.
thoughts, man, before we close things out here.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Mo makes his adjustments. I think the Magic have a decent depth to the team, where they can make some good adjustments and fill in those gaps. Obviously, again, it sucks losing your superstar player, but the show has to go on, and you don't want to get too far back in a stacked Eastern Conference. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make. And I tend to lean on the more optimistic side, and I kind of trust Mo and his relationship with the team. I think they're going to have that next man up mentality, and come together and try to make something work tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't be better said than that. I would just say for anybody betting out there, just take the over on Jalen Suggs, and
Yeah,
if Franz is playing, potentially take the over on him too. And just kind of get some of that extra
definitely more
cash.
production out of those guys, right?
Yeah, a lot more volume out of those guys is going to be coming out too, right? Those are going to be the two guys that have to step up. So definitely for all my betting folk, which I'm not, unfortunately, watch too much sports and see how crazy it can be for me to bet. But if you are betting folk, go ahead and do that. But thank you all for watching Magic Mania right here, like I said, on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And as always, Josh, how do we end these things?
Hey, go Magic.
Let's go, man. Take care.